So don't get me wrong, I think WWE 2K22 could be good. Could be is the main word there. But today I want to talk about what are some of the main reasons as to why WWE 2K22 could fail. Let's go. I'm a huge WWE fan. I'm a huge WWE 2K fan. I've had the game SmackDown vs. Raw, No Mercy, like the list is endless. By the way, thank you for joining us here on Assemble. I'm Matt. Howdy ho, good to see you. Happy weekend, good day to you guys. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I have loved the series and I have hated the series as well. And 2K20 was that pivotal moment where everything just kind of went a little bit downhill, right? And the series took a real hit. I am the optimist on this channel. I enjoy talking to all of you and I'm going to talk to you about some of the reasons why this game could fail if the team over there do these things. What has me nervous is kind of the first thing on this list is that we don't get any new gameplay mechanics or any like revitalized grappling system. We've seen the same system over and over again year after year with the 2K series. Things have been trying to get super simulated and to a point where it's really just not as fun anymore to play. The grappling system, the mechanics, everything is trying so hard to be convoluted, even into 2K20 where they try to change up some of the control schemes for what reason? We don't really know. Everything seemed fine up to that point. It wasn't perfect, but I want them to go down the rabbit hole of trying to reinvent and try to do something new with the grappling system and the mechanics overall for gameplay. Doing submissions has changed year over year where they try to do button mashing to trying to get into the meter, into a zone, and all of it just feels like it's just not really perfect, or it's really just too complicated, or it's hard for them to even master. Why spend so much time trying and get this thing down to this precise simulated? People want to be able to enjoy their experience having a match, playing their favorites, having a Stone Cold Bret Hart moment in a submission match. By the way, we need a submission match. But if they don't reimagine the grappling system, if they don't reimagine the gameplay mechanics for your superstars, what you're playing in just a standardized match, and if they skip and gloss over that fact, then that's one thing that will hurt this game and ultimately support it failing. Okay, this is a gimme. This next one is a gimme, guys. It's going to be the visuals. Now, the game doesn't have to be graphically stunning and like just purely oozing next gen with HDR and ray tracing and all this stuff. We as fans of the series, we have reasonable expectations. We don't expect it to just be like gangbusters. We don't expect it to be Last of Us and Uncharted levels, but we don't want it to really be Cyberpunk day one either. Kind of in that middle ground, right? We need the game to do well graphically. It needs to look like it's trying to go towards next gen and take advantage of some of the ways that you can actually make this thing look and feel a little bit prettier and a little bit better. You want those entrances to feel larger than life. I don't want to have to go through my matches and my intros and making it feel like the game 2 years ago felt and looked better than the current version. I don't want them to just focus on some of the main characters and upping their models so that they look really stunning. And why is it in some games Finn Balor looks amazing for his entrance and his whole model, and then you look at another character and it looks like they just pulled it out of a hat? And why does The Rock look like the way The Rock did in 2K20? They need to be able to take some love, care, and attention into getting the actual graphics down. Otherwise, this game is not going to hold up for its audience. People will turn away if they are not bought into it. It's WWE. It's all about theatrics and spectacle and looking at just the superstars. You want to be able to feel like you're a superstar, and you don't want to just have certain characters looking and feeling better than the majority of the roster. That plus, when we talk about graphics, I'm also talking about just menus and the aesthetics of actually navigating through the game. So many times and so much of our time is not only playing in the matches, but it is getting into the menus and into the systems of picking out your matches, customizing stuff, going online. All of that needs a giant facelift. How disappointed were we when we looked at 2K20 and the character models for their actual character selections? Everything was exactly the same. Character after character after character. It didn't wow you, and yet years prior you could have little animations built in for every time you're going to select a superstar. How come I can go back to like Know Your Role and Here Comes the Pain and I've got cool little selection screen menus? Bring those back. It beefs up the aesthetics and it makes it a fun experience. Otherwise, this thing may not last. And another reason why it may not last, guys, is that if we don't have any new modes or reimagined modes. So many of us in the community, so much of what the community polls have been, so much of the comments in my episode is all around the fact that we either need a GM mode, or for a lot of you, you're like, I don't need GM mode, or I don't know what GM mode was, because you're dealing with new generations of fans that are coming on board, people that haven't even had a chance to actually jump into a GM mode that we've seen in the past. It is one of the most asked things and modes that fans are asking for from the developers for this game. And WWE 2K22, in my opinion, needs a hook. It needs that reoccurring hook, something to bring the fans consistently back to turn on the game, other than just a slightly tweaked universe mode or a showcase mode focused on superstars that for a lot of people either don't play at all, or they jump into once, they play through it, and then they're done and there's no incentive to go back. And it's a real shame that the resources and people and manpower utilized for things like a showcase mode is so heavily produced, and it's put into all of that, and then we play it once and then we move on. But we're needing that hook, that gameplay hook that's going to bring you back in. And the one thing that would bring a lot of fans in is going to be GM mode or something of that nature. It doesn't have to be GM mode that we all know for contracts and building out kind of your dynasty and your franchise online. We don't necessarily need a draft, but we do need something in this game to boot it on for fans, longtime fans, to be able to turn around and go, hey, to their lapsed fans and friends, this game has this mode. They brought this back, or they have brought something new to the game, a new element for creating your rosters or doing something online, but they need a new hook for this game or something that is older, like a GM mode or universe mode, and reimagine what that could be for fans. Okay, the next thing I don't need, I'm sorry, I'm usually very positive here. What I don't need and why this game will fail for me, one reason, just meaningless DLC. I don't need these wasteland gimmicky DLCs that we saw in 2K20. It means nothing. Online creator suite, fans that go in and spend hours upon hours meticulously recreating or creating new stars or different attires or putting in Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, CM Punk, even just alternate attires for Roman Reigns. The community support is amazing for these titles, and yet the community creations are more thought out, well designed, better designed than that of the actual studio producing this DLC that nobody asked for. Nobody wanted Wasteland DLC with zombies and Samoa Joe with a freaking robot arm. I don't care. I don't need it. I don't want it in my game. It is a wrestling game, and this 2K is a simulation game. Put that in a WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Put it over there, because that can fit with the aesthetics and what that game is going for. But you try to go for this mismatch in 2K20 of, we want to be able to have something gimmicky and, you know, going through and fighting in cemeteries and bringing in all these zombie modes and zombie Triple H, and who cares? You want to put the efforts into a DLC, you got to put in DLC that fans want, people are clamoring for, and something that's going to bring a lot of value to them. Be it custom championships, be it retro stadiums, arenas, updated stadiums and arenas, updated superstars, attires, multiple attire, whatever it is that they want to come up with. But if they're going to do DLC and you want fans to pay for this add-on content, it has to have a ton of value behind it, and not just certain legends that we have seen in previous games. What you gonna do? And now putting them behind a paywall to unlock, because fans are tired of it, and it's not going to bode well, and it's not going to help this game be successful if they put out DLC that is really just them just throwing something out into the water and see what they can actually catch. The last thing on this list, folks, how W2K22 could fail. It could fail if they do not have a long-term vision for this franchise. If they go down the path of continuously looking at this as a one-shot annual redesign, just quickly updated franchise that they just pump out year after year with some small tweaks, or they pull some features back and then they add it again later, this is not going to help the franchise even more long-term. You're consistently trying to bring in new audiences, new fans to this game, to this franchise. You need to have something put in place that is going to bring fans in long term, and to show how you have a roadmap for this game, and that is going to be able to incentivize and get people on board and fans on board to see where this will go. If you outline to fans as clear as you can about what is coming down the pipe, what you're going to be offering down the road, what your plans are and what you're excited for as a studio, as a developer, then you will get more and more fans back into the franchise and attract new people, because it shows that you care and that you're trying to put in more care and attention for a franchise that's been going on for a very, very long time. And the other piece with that too, in my opinion, is that you can do this by having a game plan when it comes to launch, post-launch date plans, your roadmap for that, and create something that is going to be living, breathing, even online, and take advantage of the online systems. Live updates that you see for roster updates from MLB The Show to NBA 2K to Madden. Yes, these are annual franchise series that we always get. However, they do a good job by actually bringing out roster changes, updates, adding in new players, adding in new stars, and WWE 2K22 could do this if they really want to go long term, and that could incentivize players and fans to come on board or to come back again. But if they don't do these things, in my opinion, these are some of the things, but if they don't do some of these, this could be how WWE 2K22, how it could fail. Well, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Could it fail? What do you guys think it needs to do in order to propel itself to be more successful? But staying in this little area, how could this game fail for you? And then what does it need to do to bring you back on board, or to download it and buy it for the first time? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you. Love to chat with you all weekend long, all week long. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Matt. This is Assemble. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in every day. We got new content. I got new nerdy news and content to follow. Do me a favor, hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. It helps that YouTube algorithm. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers, folks. We are almost there. We almost did it. Then we got to get new goals, long-term goals. It just keeps going, doesn't it? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And as always, thank you all for assembling with us. See ya.